Every now and then, a vehicle comes along that makes me defy logic and convention. One that may not be the best in its class, but is the best for me and for like-minded drivers. Among compact SUVs, it's this, the 2025 Mazda CX-5. Before I get into why it's my favorite, do us a favor and hit those like and subscribe buttons below to get all of our latest reviews. Compared to other SUVs in the class, the CX-5 is a relative dinosaur, last redesigned in 2017, while many of its rivals are only a year or two old. For 2025, there's a new base model priced at around $30,000, but otherwise, only minor feature shuffling has taken place across trim levels. This particular CX-5 is the top-of-the-line turbo signature model, costing around $42,000. One of my favorite aspects of the CX-5 is its styling. Considering its design is 8 years old, that's really saying something. It's beautifully sculpted, and the headlights are well integrated into the graceful grille. Around the sides and back, there's an elegant simplicity that appeals to me. Nothing clutters the look, and I think some shoppers might even mistake it for an entry-level luxury SUV. Good design stands the test of time, and the CX-5 definitely qualifies. But what do you think? Do you find the CX-5 as attractive as I do, or is there another SUV that's caught your eye? Let us know in the comments below. The CX-5 is available with a choice of 2 engines. The base is a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder that makes 187 horsepower. This turbo model increases output to 256 horsepower. Both engines are paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission, and all-wheel drive is standard throughout the range. The base engine should get the CX-5 up to 60 miles per hour in a class average 8 seconds, while the turbo model shaves that down by about 2 seconds. That makes the CX-5 one of the more powerful and quicker choices in its class. But the real magic is how it all comes together on the road. So let's hop in and go for a spin. In the turbo model, acceleration is confident and smooth. It probably has more power than most drivers will need, making the base model a fine choice for almost everyone. But for those who enjoy a little extra punch, the turbo engine delivers nicely with a linear and even power delivery. The real star of the show is how the CX-5 handles. It takes curves with well-composed poise. It's not like a boat listing from side to side. The suspension is slightly firmer, providing positive grip, making the CX-5 feel more like a smaller, sportier SUV. Now, the firmer suspension does mean the ride is a bit stiffer compared to competitors like the Honda CR-V, but it's far from harsh. You'll notice bumps and potholes, but they won't send sharp impacts into your spine. The only time you might feel a difference is on wavy, washboard-style highways where you get a repetitive slap sensation. The brakes feel progressive and easy to modulate, making for smooth stops, whether in traffic or at a standstill. As for overall noise and comfort, there's some road noise, but it's manageable, and turning up the radio drowns it out completely. On the highway, wind noise is minimal, making the CX-5 a solid road tripper. In terms of driver assistance features, the frontal collision alert system doesn't set off false alarms, and the blind spot monitoring system works exactly as expected. After 8 years of refinement, everything in the CX-5 feels well dialed in, which is exactly what you'd hope for from a vehicle with this much history. Those are some of my favorite aspects of the CX-5, but not the only ones. So let's pull over and talk about the interior next. A lot of the grace found in the exterior design carries over into the interior. At first glance, it's easy to think the CX-5 could pass for a Lexus or an Acura, an entry-level luxury SUV. The materials are excellent, with soft-touch dash materials and nice stitching throughout. In this top trim, you even get genuine leather. Up top, there's a 10.25-inch infotainment display, but Mazda does things a little differently. When using their native infotainment system, the screen isn't a touchscreen. You have to use the dial down here in the center console. However, if you're using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, the touchscreen functionality is enabled. Here's the thing, I actually prefer using the dial. I'm a bit old school, and it reminds me of the older BMW iDrive or Audi MMI systems, where you could move the cursor and tap without needing to stare at the screen. With a touchscreen, you have to take your eyes off the road more often, so in that respect, I really appreciate Mazda's approach. While it may not have all the bells and whistles found in newer SUVs, the infotainment system is intuitive and gets the job done. And to me, that's more important. Both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto work wirelessly, and in mid-range trims or higher, you get a wireless charging pad. When it comes to storage, it's more than adequate. The wireless charging pad is a nice touch, though it's made of hard plastic, which can cause your phone to rattle around a bit. A softer, grippier surface would have been a better choice. There are moderately sized cup holders and a deep center armrest bin for extra storage. The door pockets are also decently sized. You could fit a large metal flask if you're heading out for a hike. The rear seat space in the CX-5 is adequate, but not class-leading. I'm 5'10", sitting behind the driver's seat, which is set for me, and I have a few inches of headroom and knee room. The thigh support is decent as well. However, compared to rivals like the Honda CR-V and Kia Sportage, the CX-5 offers slightly less legroom and headroom. One area where the CX-5 falls short is family friendliness. Even in this top trim, while rear air vents are present, there are no separate climate controls. Additionally, USB ports are located inside the center armrest, which means they're inaccessible if a middle passenger is seated. The rear seats do offer heating, but the controls are also inside the armrest, which isn't the most convenient setup. When it comes to cargo capacity, the CX-5 also lags behind the competition. With 30.8 cubic feet of space behind the second row, it's nearly 30% smaller than class leaders like the Honda CR-V and Kia Sportage. That's a significant difference, especially for those needing space for strollers, luggage, or other family essentials. Despite the smaller capacity, the CX-5 does come with a hands-free power liftgate on premium trims and above, which adds some convenience when loading items. If cargo space is a top priority, the CR-V and Sportage are better suited for family hauling, but the CX-5 still offers a reasonable amount of storage for most daily needs. The CX-5 isn't the most spacious or family-friendly compact SUV, and its ride quality is firmer compared to the competition. However, it excels in driving dynamics with composed and confident handling that outshines rivals like the Honda CR-V and Kia Sportage. For those who prioritize driving enjoyment over sheer practicality, the CX-5 is one of the sportier choices in the segment. Fuel efficiency is another consideration. At 24 mpg combined, it's not the most fuel-efficient option, and it lacks a hybrid variant offered by some competitors. However, the difference in fuel economy isn't significant enough to be a deal-breaker. For buyers who prioritize performance and handling, the CX-5 stands out. But if practicality and affordability are top concerns, the CR-V and Sportage might be better choices, with the latter offering a price advantage that could save a couple of $1,000s. The only other SUV I'd personally consider in this segment is Mazda's own CX-50. It's strikingly similar to the CX-5, but offers a slightly different appeal. What about you? Would you choose the CX-5 for its engaging driving experience, or does a more conventional SUV fit your needs better? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons for more reviews.